channel. It's been a minute, but I'm here. Listen, this video here is about how Trump's tariffs on aluminum backfired. Hey man, listen. It was destined to happen. The man doing stuff that's illegal. When you live and do things that's not right, karma happens. That's just what it is. Like when you're out here doing stuff, doing wrong to people and doing things you think that you can do just because you're trying to bully somebody, there's karma. There's things that's gonna come back and bite you in the ass. And that looks like what's going on here. So let's check this out. Trump tariffs on Canadian aluminum completely backfired. U.S. supply hit zero. So let's see what's going on, guys. Y'all already know, man. Let me know where you're chiming in from, guys. Let me know what you think about these Trump tariffs, and let me know what you think about it backfiring on his ass.
You probably assume the reason a new truck or a major home renovation costs so much right now is just general inflation. We all kind of accept that everything is just more expensive. But there is actually a massive, invisible fee baked into almost everything built in America today. It has nothing to do with standard inflation and everything to do with a very quiet standoff over a basic piece of metal. A while back, US President in Washington decided to place a really heavy tariff on aluminum coming in from Canada. According to the people pushing for it, the idea was mostly about national security, make foreign metal expensive, and American companies will be forced to build more foundries, hire more people, and supply all the aluminum we need right here at home. It sounds perfectly logical when you look at it on a whiteboard, but the moment that
right here at home. So this guy here who made this video sounds like he's American, and sounds like he, looks like he's pointing out that Trump did some BS. But let's continue.
Policy hit the actual real-world economy, things got incredibly complicated. Because what happened next wasn't a big, loud diplomatic fight. Canada didn't hold angry press conferences or immediately slap a bunch of aggressive taxes on American products. They actually did something much quieter and honestly, a lot more effective. They just started looking for other people to buy their metal. And that one decision completely flipped the script on American manufacturing. Because the United States doesn't just buy Canadian aluminum to save a few bucks. They buy it because they simply do not have enough domestic supply to keep the country running. Aluminum is literally the skeleton of the modern economy. It's in the frame of your car, the airplanes we fly in, the commercial buildings going up downtown, and even the defense systems the military uses. So when you suddenly drop a 50% tax on a material that crucial, the pain is immediate. Imagine being a parts supplier for a major automaker like Ford or General Motors. You're already dealing with high labor costs and trying to figure out how to transition to new vehicle technologies. You have contracts locked in, and then overnight, your core raw material gets massively more expensive. You can't just swallow a cost increase like that. You have to pass it down the line. So the cost of manufacturing the car goes up, and eventually the sticker price on the dealership lot goes up too.
So Trump thought that it was gonna be so easy where he just put the tariffs on this aluminum so high where we're not getting it from Canada anymore. And we're going to be forced to make it and create it and create manufactured aluminum ourselves. How dumb can you be? How dumb can you really be? Like, it's not that easy, man. And him as a businessman, he should know that.
And it's the exact same story in construction. Contractors bidding on public infrastructure or large apartment buildings suddenly found themselves dealing with budgets that were completely blown out. Because when the price of aluminum spikes, you either have to pause the project, figure out a way to get more funding, or just charge the end buyer more money. So you naturally might be wondering why American companies can't just fire up a bunch of local mills and make the aluminum themselves. The thing is, making raw aluminum is incredibly difficult, and it takes a staggering amount of electricity. You can't just flip a switch and bring an old factory back online. Industry analysts point out that building a brand new primary aluminum smelter can take 3 to 5 years. You have to get permits, raise billions of dollars, and secure a massive, stable power source. And that power source is actually the biggest hurdle. In the US, industrial electricity can be pretty expensive, but up in Canada, they have an abundance of hydropower. They have cheap, stable, clean electricity running these massive smelters. So even with a huge tariff slapped on top, it's still incredibly difficult for a brand new US facility to compete on pure cost. Plus, business owners aren't going to invest billions of dollars into a new factory if they think a new politician might just come along in 4 years and cancel the—
Look at his face. Oh my gosh.
If they think a new politician—
Oh my goodness. I didn't know it was that bad, guys. So they are putting loads of makeup on his face. Look at his ears and right here where it cuts off. Oh my God, and his head. Man, that man looked bad. Oh my God.
Might just come along in 4 years and cancel the tariffs anyway. The risk is just too high. So instead of a massive boom in local manufacturing, American buyers were just left paying a huge premium for the exact same metal. And while all this pressure was building up inside the US, Canada was quietly shifting its entire strategy. Since the US market was suddenly a lot less friendly, Canadian producers started reaching out to buyers in Europe, Japan, and South Korea. And those markets were actually thrilled to take the supply. Because right now, companies all over the world are under massive pressure to lower their carbon footprint. Automakers and aerospace companies abroad want aluminum that was made using clean energy, like Canadian hydropower, instead of metal made in factories powered by coal. So Canada basically used the tariff situation to diversify their customer base. They locked in long-term contracts overseas, reducing their reliance on the United States. And
that's a good thing. That's a great thing. You got somebody in office that's unpredictable. You guys switched over, went outside the box, found some customers that's happy to buy your your aluminum. So you don't have to rely on this unpredictable clown. It's great. That's great. You know what I mean? This is great. And I'm glad this happened. Because America needs to learn something from this. You can't do business like that. It's a lesson.
This is where the math gets really painful for American buyers. Because Canada was sending less metal south, the supply inside the US got tighter, which meant American companies weren't just paying the heavy tariff. They were also paying a higher base price just to get their hands on whatever supply was left. Analysts started calling it a double price shock. It really highlights a strange reality about how economies actually work. The policy was designed to protect American jobs in the aluminum industry. But the people who make raw aluminum are actually a tiny fraction of the workforce compared to the millions of people who use aluminum to build things. The auto workers, the construction crews, the aerospace engineers. When you make their raw materials ridiculously expensive, their companies have smaller margins, which makes it harder to hire, harder to expand, and harder to compete globally. Even the military budget takes a hit. If a defense contractor has to pay way more for the specialized aluminum alloys used in fighter jets or naval ships, the cost of that equipment goes up. So ironically, a tariff put in place for national security ends up quietly draining the defense budget because the taxpayers have to cover the difference. And looking at the big picture, this whole situation shows how interconnected everything really is. When you try to force a massive supply chain to change overnight using taxes, the market doesn't usually do what you want it to do. It just finds a new path of least resistance. Canada didn't need to fight back because the basic economics of the situation did the work for them. They found new buyers, strengthened their global position, and left American industries dealing with the friction. Trade decisions like this rarely stay contained to government offices. They travel directly into factories, onto construction sites, and eventually right into customers' wallets. So the real question now isn't whether the US needs to protect its industries. It's figuring out how to actually do that without accidentally punishing the millions of workers and consumers who rely on those materials every single day. Because right now, the cost of trying to stand alone is proving to be incredibly high. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really driving the costs behind the scenes right now, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the real economy. Let me know what you think the best move is down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.
Best move for me is to take those tariffs off and go back to doing regular business, because we do need that aluminum. Obviously, it takes too long to manufacture, to create warehouses that manufacture this aluminum, and it's not sure that we can keep up with the supply and demand, even if we do it ourselves. So aluminum is a big thing in Canada. So why don't we just keep our business with Canada going like it should be going, and not going like you wanted to go to try to strengthen up and get more jobs for America? But it's not gonna. That might not work, man. You know, and it doesn't look like it's working right now. So that's what I think. Go back to doing business like we used to do. But yeah, guys, let me know what you thought about the video, man. You know, I'm a firm believer of you reap what you sow. And that's just what I believe in. If you do some BS, you're going to get some BS. If you do good, you're going to get good. Not always like that, but most of the time, that's how it goes. So let me know what you thought about it, and I'll see y'all in the next video.